What's the right move when the person in the plane seat next to you is spilling into your seat? This just happened to me. Dude sitting aisle. Me sitting window. Passed out snoring super loud and kept falling over on my shoulder. He'd doze. Lean over on me. Wake up. Right himself. And repeat. The couple across from us kept giving me OMG looks. In order to not make a scene, I waited for beverage service and had opened up a notes window on my phone and typed, "Please help?" I don't know the guy next to me and he keeps passing out on my shoulder. When the FA came by, I handed her my phone and she said, "Oh, there's an open seat back here by your friends if you'd like to move to be closer to them." I was able to move, didn't embarrass the poor sleepy guy, and was able to feel comfortable for the rest of the flight. I had to experience a flight where a bigger guy in the middle seat felt the need to sit with his legs spread far apart and leaning against mine for 3 hours. I think that's worse. Airlines, at least Southwest, have a policy. If you can't put the armrest down and encroach into another seat, they have to pay for a second seat if the flight is full. Advise AFA that they are encroaching and they should handle it. Southwest will figure it out before boarding, and make them an offer. Board in the first group. If you get the armrest down and seatbelt on, they are good to go. If not, they deplane and buy first class or a second seat. If they refuse, they will rebook to a not full flight, rarity, or refund their money. Don't be afraid to speak up. I would subtly take it up. The airline stewardess BC. I wouldn't want to hurt the person's feelings. Even if they were supposed to buy 2 tickets. Someone let them sit there. Should have been vetted prior emo. Plus these days you just don't know who is going to flip their ham sandwich and get violent. I always put the armrest down. If there is protest, I say, "I need my space." Armrest down. Cannibalism. I feel ya. I'm 6 feet 4 inches 240 hash with very broad shoulders. Planes are the worst. I try to get upgraded, solo seats, aisle when possible to lean into it. But I absolutely can't help. I was born an ogre and I can't really splurge for first class. I have been sat next to very large round people before as well. I'm not sure which of us is worse. You put the armrest down. And I've sat with the airline magazine as a wall that leans up against it, so that anything that spills over can't spill that much over. E.g., an elbow that was pushing into your boobs now pushes into the magazine. Put the armrest down. In the past, when I've asked to put the armrest down, they say they can't because it doesn't fit. Armrests must be down for takeoff. Put the armrest down. Give them a tickle. I will never forget the shame I felt when I flew at my heaviest. I had to ask for a seatbelt extender. And I was mortified. I literally wanted to die. I was on a small plane that had 2 seats per row. And I was sitting next to a very normal woman. My hips were taking up more room. But the armrest was down. And I didn't spill out past it. The lady next to me was cramming herself into the window as if I was taking up half her seat. I wanted to die even more. It was the most humiliating experience I've ever had. I spent the entire 2-hour flight feeling shame and embarrassment and trying to make myself as small as possible. I have since lost over 100 pounds. But I know what it's like to be the fat person no one wants to be around. If you say or do anything at all, please do it with kindness. I would ask the flight attendant for a seat change in private if that's what you're looking for. I'm not sure what else they could or would do. The kindest way would be to excuse yourself to the bathroom, but find a flight attendant and explain the problem to see if you or the other person can switch seats. Even if you are very pleasant and kind about it, It's possible the passenger is already worried about being judged about being larger and might react poorly. Especially if they really have no room to adjust, they will feel bad too. I am larger but still fit in the seats with armrests down. And I still worry about upsetting my seat neighbor. I sit the whole flight squishing my arms and legs together to make as much room as possible. Better to let the flight attendant figure it out for you. I was on the window seat of a flight that I almost didn't make from Newark to Austin once. I was literally the last one on the flight before they closed the doors. The two people already sitting in the aisle and middle seat were both at least 350 pounds each. I am 5 feet 2 and 115 pounds. But I could not move at all. I had to cross my legs and lean into the window. I would have been Saul if I had been a normal-sized human. It was miserable. I just move around a lot, take my jacket off, take a book out of my backpack, put the tray down, etc. When I inevitably bump into them, I kind of gesture to my space and say, sorry. It makes it clear that I'm going to be using my area and moving around in it. And they should try to stay out of it. Alert a flight attendant and they can solve the issue how their airline has decided it. Most usually have a rule that the armrest needs to be able to be put down or the person didn't book enough seats. One time on a 5-hour train ride, a man who brought no entertainment and smelled unwashed, and was wearing ragged clothing, I assumed to be homeless, was seated next to me. He kept falling asleep and his head would tilt onto my shoulder over and over. A couple hours into the trip, the attendant comes over to me and hands me a napkin. On the napkin she wrote, "There is an empty seat in seat 3A. I never yeeted so fast out of a chair in my life. You never ask if you can put the armrest down. You just put it down. I have had a really huge person coming to sit next to me ask if I could pull the armrest up, because they said, it is more comfortable that way. I just said no. And they looked at me with a snarl. And I looked at them with a WTF. Your space is yours. Their space is theirs. You don't ask for permission to use your space. If they cause a problem, call the flight attendant. I flew by myself the first time this summer. And on the way home sat next to a big dude in the window seat. He was leaning so hard into that window but was still in my space a bit. Whatever. I just cuddled up and got comfortable and pretended we weren't touching. Flying sucks and we might as well do what we can to not make others miserable if we can help it. He got a good laugh at me when I excitedly discovered what pushing the button on the chair arm did. Rolling on the floor laughing. I just lower the armrest if they're just spilling over a bit above and below the armrest. That's okay. I can deal with that. To be honest, I don't know if there's a non-hurtful way to do it. But as a plus-size person, both of you have a right to travel comfortably. I say let the flight attendants handle it for you.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.